Welcome here, everybody. Great to see you all. I'm Sally, for those of you who don't know me, and we're going to talk a little bit more about horses and how horses see the world and the things we've got coming up. And we'll include some horses who are waiting outside the door for us as well. So for those of you who've been here before, some of this will be familiar or a reminder or a nice reconnection back in. And for those of you who are new, hopefully you'll get a taster of what we do here at Tula Vida and who I am and who some of the horses or beings are through the slides. We're really going to talk today about going beyond words, but some of the science behind what happens when we have experiences with horses. And then I'll talk a bit about Tula Vida as well. We'll go out and meet some of the herd. The invitation is dive into these photos. So slowing down a moment, maybe take a look at this picture here. So this is beauty. And just notice this photo, this person standing with this horse. Notice how they're kind of leaning in towards each other. Imagine your hand being on the warm, soft side of beauty. Imagine the birds and the cicadas around you, gentle breeze. Maybe take a deep breath. Maybe move around in your chair to relax a little bit, to arrive and give yourself these minutes, half an hour, however long we're going to be on this call or whenever you need to jump off, to really just be here. And you could listen to what I'm saying, you can look at the pictures, you can imagine being with the horses. It's a gift of really being present to yourself. First, I'm going to introduce myself and Eric. So you can see me here in this picture with a Tula Vida Foundation shirt on. So my name is Sally Nilsson, for those of you who haven't met me yet. And this is Eric Colasara, and we founded Tula Vida. So we are a horse and human sanctuary here in the middle of Costa Rica, surrounded by rainforest and fields and horses and sky, really. I was a corporate lawyer in London for many years and very much busy in my head, English, in case you are working to recognize the accent. I'm from England. And I always loved horses. Came on a horse riding holiday to Costa Rica and had a horse experience, which changed my life, really. And so, long story short, found my way through training in this work, moving to Costa Rica, meeting Eric, and founding Tula Vida. And our intention here with Tula Vida now is to support people, to support you guys, in a deeper connection with yourselves. So through nature, through being here, through horses, through the experience, really we believe that everybody has all the answers inside themselves. Nobody needs fixing. It's really about tuning in or retuning in, remembering actually who am I underneath some of that busy brain and doing. I'm very familiar with that. It's a practice, and horses can become master teachers for us in doing that. And so Eric and I created this sanctuary here, really at Tula Vida, where we have small groups and we really prioritize a sense of safety and belonging and feeling of home, so that your whole system can settle in and really just absorb the nature. And then we have experiences with the horses on top of that. We'll talk a little bit more about what that has to offer, but a place designed for slowing down. We're surrounded by volcanoes, so feeling that volcano energy and nature energy. And our goal is really to be more like a horse. That's definitely my life goal. I'm not there yet. But teaching about horses and tuning into horses with that idea of living in the present moment, in tune with our environment and what that has to offer. So this presentation is really going to potentially answer some of the questions. And we post on social media and send emails, and you see pictures of people standing with a horse. And those of you who've experienced it know it is mystical and it's measurable. So it isn't just mystical, it's also measurable. And sometimes it helps our brain to really understand some of what is happening or what might be happening in these horse experiences, to create a little bit of that sense of trust and safety for ourselves. And for those of you who have been here and had experiences, think about this as a reminder or a refresher, and also an opportunity for a deeper layer. Perhaps something that I say or a picture that you see sparks a memory of a horse experience that you had here, and maybe offers a new insight or another memory or a way to remind yourself or re-access that experience that you had. We think that horses can see us, and they can, and hear us, and they can. We don't so much think about their smell, but they can smell us, and our smell actually gives out a lot of information. This is Minna, one of our horses here. He was in the previous slide as well. This is Minna's eye. So horses are going to watch us. They're going to watch our body language, and they're going to hear our tone of voice, and they're going to read a lot of information from that. Non-verbal communication, that's what we typically think of when we say non-verbal communication. And that's what we humans rely on, what we think, what we can see, kind of what we interpret from that. But actually, they're reading something that you can't see, but you are broadcasting. So this image here, if you take a look at this image, there was a lady who came to Tula Vida. This is one of the views of a couple of the volcanoes. And we were standing, and she was standing looking out over the view, and actually feeling a bit lost, feeling a bit lonely with the vast expanse of nature around her, wondering, thinking about her own life. And a horse came up and just stood next to her. This is Mo. And you might see he's mirroring her body language, and he just came up. He's free to roam around, to eat grass. He came up and stood next to her like this, sharing space. And she actually was very, very moved by this, moved to tears, and started crying because she felt so seen and supported in what she was feeling. How did he know what she was feeling? How did he know that that's what she needed in that moment, that would feel really helpful to her? And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit now. They're reading what you're putting out. The space in between in this picture, horses can actually sense and tune into that. And actually isn't magic, although it does feel magical. It's biology. So we're doing it as well. We can read this as well. We can feel it from each other as well. And we're going to talk about electromagnetic fields. I'm going to introduce or offer a refresher for you on what is an electromagnetic field. And we're going to talk about heart coherence and sensing capacity, and a little bit about nervous systems and co-regulation. This idea of an electromagnetic field, every human body and animal body has electricity in it, and anything that has electricity has an electromagnetic field. So we have electricity moving. That's why they put the paddles on you in ER to bring you back after a heart attack. That's always how I remember it. So electricity moving, and each of our organs has one of these electromagnetic fields coming off it. And the largest one in the body that we have comes off our heart. And this is an image of it, a representation of this kind of field, this bubble, this energy, this electromagnetic energy that comes off our hearts. And on the bottom of the slide here, you see a reference to the HeartMath Institute. Now, the HeartMath Institute is a clearinghouse, a non-profit, where research is being done on the heart and the capacity of the heart. They actually started off by looking at mothers and babies and looking at how, before a baby can read facial expression or vocal tone or anything like that, they still know when the mother or the caretaker is stressed? How did they know? And they started looking at this electromagnetic field and measuring it and studying it and actually seeing and observing that it changes according to what we're feeling or the state of our nervous system or our intention. It's actually going to change, and that others pick up on it. So whether I'm aware of it or not, my electromagnetic field is communicating information all of the time, and others are picking up on it. Whether they're aware of that consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously, they're picking up on that too. And horses really are conscious of this and tuned into this. So this isn't new, actually. If you have already experienced this, we're just giving it some language, giving it some context, really, so it can become more familiar to you. But have you ever walked into a room and had that feeling like, oh, what's happening in this room? We have expressions. You can cut the atmosphere with a knife. The air feels thick. The tension was thick in the room. This is this electromagnetic field communicating. You know, you can walk in and feel immediately the light and the joy. It's not always the uncomfortable things. So we're normalizing it a little bit. This is a sense that we have, a capacity that we have, knowing someone's upset before they speak even. We're tuning in. And if you look at these heart rhythm patterns, it's going to make actually a lot of sense. If we have an electromagnetic field that's coming off our heart, and our heart beats differently based on what we're feeling or how our nervous system is feeling, stressed, calm, you know, frustrated or loving, our heart beats differently. So this field that comes off our heart is going to look and feel differently. And if other beings are going to be picking up on that, they may not know exactly what they're picking up on, but when it changes, when it shifts, that's going to be something that is felt and received. So every time, you know, if you feel like someone's watching you, you're sensing something touching on your energy fields. It's a capacity that we have. We're just not always aware of it. And every living thing generates an energy field. So these fields are always interacting. You see in these images here, the birds, the fish moving together. You see herds of horses or other wild animals able to move together in this formation without banging into each other in beautiful arcs, because they're so tuned in to this electromagnetic energy, this capacity to feel almost tangibly what other beings around them are putting out. Now imagine a group of humans like this in formation. It probably wouldn't look like this, because we're used to relying on our thinking brain and our sight perhaps, or our hearing, and we're not so used to tuning in to that sense. But then you think about really high levels, what do you call it, synchronized swimming. So they are tuned in to each other beyond being able to see or hear. So they've built that capacity, and it's one of the things that we practice with horses here as well, how to tune in, because it's very connecting. The whole herd can communicate and move and turn together without a sound. So we're going to try something right now so that you can feel a little bit this static electricity, essentially. So rub your hands together vigorously for 10 seconds. And then you're going to slowly pull your hands apart. And notice what you feel in your palms. And maybe push your hands back together a little bit. You can bounce it. And you can start playing with this, seeing how far out you can feel it. It might be a tingling, it might be coolness, it might be heat. It's almost like the air has a different quality between your two hands. It's very subtle. And then as you play with it, you can maybe start to feel it a little more. This is your field, your electromagnetic field. And you can try it on your phone, which gives out a lot of electricity, and actually feel the humming. It's like a new level of awareness, looking at this sense. So now we come on to horses. And imagine a horse has a huge heart. They're very athletic, aerobic animals. They have a huge heart. So imagine an electromagnetic field coming off a heart that size, it's a lot bigger than ours. So the horse's capacity to sense anything changing or other beings' electromagnetic energy in these heart fields, we call them, is huge. Some measurements say 50 feet in diameter. So when a horse looks somewhere, sometimes if you look where a horse looks, you'll see something way up on the hill that would never have caught your attention, a cow or a dog. You would never have realized, but they're living in this state of being connected to their present environment and used to and practiced at reading electromagnetic fields and responding to them. So horses never develop the part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, the logic, the thinking, the reason, and the controlling things that we did. They didn't develop that. And before we had it, before we had language, before we had, all these different ways of thinking and creating and doing that we have now, we used to live in caves in harmony with nature. We used to read the weather patterns and the animals. We used to be able to communicate with each other without words. So we have that capacity as humans in our brain. We've just focused for great things on a different part, creating things through logic and reason and structure and language. And that's great. But we've lost access, or we've forgotten how to use some of the other parts of our brain or our nervous system or our electromagnetic field, some of those other senses that horses never stopped using and they never lost. So that's one of the ways horses can be amazing teachers for us. And we'll talk a bit more about this. But they are so aware of what I'm doing when I'm in my field and so responsive to me that they give me real-time feedback of actually what's happening inside of me that I probably am not aware of because I'm busy thinking about what I'm doing next or what I'm going to say. I'm in my head. As Eric loves to say, we're very good at neck up living. And the practice here at Tula Vida is neck down living. How can I tune in to all the other information and wisdom that is available to me? It just actually takes conscious attention, which is something that we practice here. So one of the things we like to emphasize here is how long horses have been on the earth. This is Rhea, and horses have been around for 56 million years as prey animals. So they've had that long to live in the present moment, hunted and wild and staying safe, staying alive, thriving, in fact, as a species. They've only been with humans about 5,000 to 10,000 years, to put that in context. So the reason for making the distinction with prey animals is that it's life or death for a prey animal to accurately sense and respond to their environment. Because if a lion's chasing a horse, if the horse makes a mistake, that's it. They're eaten, it's life or death. If the lion makes a mistake, he goes hungry, gets to try again. So a lot of prey animals have really developed this heightened sensing capacity, this sophisticated nervous system that enables them to tune in to a very, very subtle level. So yeah, a twig snapping, a shift in the wind, tension in my shoulders that I haven't noticed yet, holding my breath, my heartbeat from several meters away, micro expressions. The horse is going to notice the tension in me before even I do, because that's how their senses have developed. And this was really a game changer for me, actually, learning this with horses. So the idea that I'm communicating my internal state beyond my awareness and that other beings are picking up on it, it makes sense when I learnt it or saw it or responded to it. But this whole other language or way of being and communicating, which we were doing just unconsciously, to become aware of that and bring that into my awareness and actually be able to impact it, influence it, shift it, consciously communicate something or pick up on something from another being. It's like learning a whole new kind of way of being in the world for me, which was it was a real game changer. It also made sense of a lot of things to me, I have to say, about the way that I was and am in the world, because I've always sensed people or been quite tuned in to people, but hadn't really understood why or how How do I know they're upset? Or how do I know that what I need to do here? So once you understand it, you can practice it and actually deepen it and develop it, rather than just thinking, well, this is kind of interesting, but I don't really know what it is. So we like to clarify or explain some of what's happening so that you can have a tangible set of tools and awareness to be able to practice it with the horses, experience it, feel it, and also take it home. And Anna Marie is on the call, and this is a beautiful photo just from a couple of weeks ago, actually. And the idea in this slide, this is Anna Marie and Sita and the horse Hitana. And the idea is that what you're putting out is contagious, and what the horse is putting out is contagious. It's called co-regulation in nervous system language. So when you yawn, perhaps somebody else yawns. When you take a sigh or a deep breath out, perhaps somebody else does. When you cross your arms and bunch up your body, perhaps somebody else does. But at a micro level, on the inside as well, other people and beings are actually noticing what you're doing, and it's affecting them as well. Anxiety spreads in a crowd, but calm. So a lot of times a horse's calm will settle your system, and your calm can settle a horse's system. Now we're going to talk more in the next webinar about nervous systems, because that's a whole topic in itself, really. But this image, if you bring back the heart rhythm patterns, you can see this is not a heart that's beating and jumping around in either being in this photo, any of the three beings, irregularly with some movement away. You can tell that there's this steady breathing, this relaxation, this calm being communicated from in all the ways so that everyone feels safe. This is the most vulnerable position that a horse can be in, to lie down completely flat with their head on the ground, actually touching a human with a dog right there. Horses can't get up very quickly. So we 100% know she feels safe in this moment, completely and utterly safe to sleep and be watched over and be connected with these other beings. And that communication is not somebody saying, you know, you're fine, don't worry, lay down, I'll look out. That may or may not help. It's communicated from the inside so that a horse can feel it and pick it up and really relax their whole body enough to drop down to the ground and lay their whole head on the grass. Imagine the gift of sitting here with all the hearts sinking together, the calm and the peace of this moment that was experienced by all of them. So this is the contagious energy that we can both create and receive or tune into. So why are horses so unique in this teaching? This is beauty. Horses are very honest about what they sense. They don't hide it to be polite. You know, Hitana's not like, oh, I bet this person will feel great if I lie down at her feet. I'm going to do that. That's not very horse-like at all. She's not trying to please anyone. She's living in the present moment, taking care of her needs, wanting connection, but prioritizing safety. Horses always want to feel safe. So a horse will respond to you in real time, becoming this mirror or this sensor and receiver that you can't ignore. And that's incredible feedback, because it's not judgmental. It just is responding to what's here, and it's honest and it's real time, and it's not because of a brain or a filter or a story. It's genuine feedback on what you're actually putting out, which you may not be aware of. So if you look at Beauty's eye here in the image, just looking at it, looking deep, and you might think, what do you see? And it might be different for each of you. You might see grounding, you might see connection, you might see sadness, you might see love. And now imagine standing here like this lady is with your hands on Beauty's side. So you've got the feeling of being there, not just the visual here. And your whole body is going to feel this. So horses are sensing everything coming out of our body. And this is a visual. It was a study published in Discover magazine back in 2013, actually. And really the purpose of this visual is to remind us that we feel emotions in our physical bodies. And again, it's obvious when I say it, but we don't think about it like that. So if you look at anger, you can see this is based on reported sensation. So there's heat and a lot of sensation in the head and the chest, maybe in the fists for anger. And then if you go along the line to sadness, there's probably a numb, a lot less sensation, cold, heavy, maybe some activation in the chest, but the impulse is really a lot less movement. So our physical bodies are having different biochemical changes, different hormones, our heart rate is beating differently. So sensitive animals are going to be picking up on this, reading our electromagnetic field. So the rapid heart of fear with the shallow breath and the tense shoulders, even with your eyes closed, that's actually something that you're communicating in your electromagnetic field that a horse will pick up on. Or the joy, probably the regular heart rate, the deep breath, the relaxed body. Or the sadness, perhaps heavy, withdrawn, contracted. So a horse is going to sense what you're feeling, whether you're aware of it or not. And what horses really want is connection. Number one, safety. Number two, connection. And sometimes when we walk around pretending we're not feeling what we're feeling or hiding what we're feeling, then it's difficult to connect. So if I'm here talking to all of you guys and I'm actually frustrated about something, I'm like, oh, the technology and the Zoom. This is a realistic example. I can't get the slides to work. But I'm telling you guys, yeah, I'm fine. I'm having a great day and Zoom's great. I love Zoom, and you're picking up on my frustration. It's disconnecting. It's hard to trust. Whereas if I say, oh, Zoom's been really frustrating today and I can't get the controls to work, so I'm feeling a little bit of frustration, bear with me. Okay, great. Probably all can relate to that. We all have frustration at times. So hiding what we're feeling can actually create a sense of distrust or disconnection. We also hide it from ourselves a lot of the time, and I just carry on doing, ignoring, numbing, whatever I'm doing. So I'm disconnected from myself. So to have a horse, a being who knows what I'm feeling on the inside, to be able to actually give me some feedback on that and perhaps respond to that, helps me become aware of it and potentially communicate it and do something with it so that I can relax, my horse can relax, and we can actually connect with each other. You don't need to tell a horse how you are feeling because they already know. And this is Mr. Big here. And I can give you an example of this. I think it's actually the reason why I got into this work to start with, because I was working hard, lawyer in London, working all the hours, and I would book a riding holiday once a year, horse riding holiday once a year to get my horse fixed. So I came out to Costa Rica by chance on a horse riding holiday. And actually I arrived a day early, and the owner was just starting to learn this kind of equine facilitated learning work, experiential work that we do now. She just started that and she said, oh, do you want to have a horse experience, try it out? I'm like, sure. Not necessarily knowing what to expect. And at the start of the exercise, I had some things I was meant to be doing, and I was a good little doer and a good little thinker. I was completely disconnected from feelings and body sensations. I hadn't really explored too much in that, just a lot of the thinking. And I started to feel worried or insecure about, well, what am I going to do and how am I going to do it? And I'm supposed to know horses, and is this going to work? And, what's going to happen? And Beauty was the horse, and she walked over to me and put her nose on my arm, actually a bit like Mr. Big's doing here. And I just felt tears coming up, which horrified me. Did not cry, English, keep calm, carry on. Tears are something to hide and avoid, and definitely not show in front of a stranger who's with me. And so she just nuzzled her head into me as the tears flow, like leant in even closer. And for me, it was that moment of being seen and allowing myself to express my emotion, and the horse leaning in to that, leaning closer into that, actually seeking more connection as I was experiencing this uncomfortable emotion for me. After a while, she started licking and chewing, which is a horse language for like, yep, this feels good. This is the where we want to go, and step back a little. And I pulled myself back together, and I noticed that I felt so much better. I felt so much lighter. I just released something in me that I didn't even really know was there. And I could relax. And she was just standing there, right there, supporting me. And it was this huge, it sounds like a small experience. Those of you who had something similar may be able to relate. But it was this huge moment of Beauty knew what I was feeling, and she knew how to come in and support me to actually become aware of it myself. And it's okay to cry. Someone might lean in, connection's still there. There was all sorts of things at the beginning of my journey there, onto this path, that were starting to fall into place, this new language, new revelation. So I didn't have to say what I was feeling because I wasn't there yet, wasn't able to access it at that point. She was just starting the beginnings of that for me, to see what was under the mask of control and doing and, successful, but not listening or acknowledging to all the things that were happening underneath the mask. So horses actually amplify your emotions. So there's this electromagnetic field that you're putting out, and horses are going to sense that and respond to that. And heart math studies have showed they're actually going to magnify it and respond to it. And horses will respond to it in different ways. And their response is helping us make it visible and more tangible and undeniable, because then I could become aware of it and I could say, wow, I guess I have some emotions in here. Maybe I want to go on a journey to see what this is all about or explore this more. And it won't lead everyone to move to the middle of nowhere in Costa Rica. I appreciate that. But it is a journey that's a very rewarding journey to go on. So have a look at this image here. This is Susie. And just see what you notice. You might all see different things. No good, no bad, no right, no wrong. And what we'll do here in horse experiences like this will be check in with the person, what's coming up. I'm not going to put my filter on it, my interpretation on it, because for her in that moment with Susie, there is a lot of communication happening. And that's going to be interesting information and insight for her. And it'll be different for each of us. We're each unique. And we believe that the horses step up, or we've seen evidence the horses step up and show something important and powerful for each person, beyond what I could even know from the smiling face and talking person that shows up. The horse knows what's actually on the inside. So the gift of honest feedback. Most of us are disconnected from our bodies. I certainly was, and it's still a work in progress all the time. So we'll just override those signals of tiredness or stress, and we'll push through. And horses will actually make us aware of that. It's very common to be around a horse and to suddenly feel really tired. We have, families come and kids come, and the parents have warned us in advance. The kids are quite hyperactive, and I hope they're not too disruptive for the horses running around, etc. And they get here and the kids just kind of sit at the table and slump and go to sleep, because their systems have felt that deep sense of calm and communicated just how tired they actually are, and they fall asleep, and the parents are like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And well, we do, because once your body gets a chance to communicate with you how it's been feeling, you can become aware of something like the tiredness or the need to move or cry, in my case, whatever it is. Take a few deep breaths, whatever it is that's going to help. Horses are actually going to give us a lot of awareness about what's happening that we're perhaps not very tuned into, and they're going to respond to what's real. So not the mask that I had on, the hi Beauty, nice to meet you, let's do this thing, I'm fine. Fine is never fine. she walks in and puts her nose on my arm because she sees and feels what's inside me that's actually desperate to move but has no way out. She's like, let's just feel that for a moment. So, so you learn to recognize it yourself. You learn that it's even in there, and you learn what to do with it and how to shift perhaps the state that you had. And that's one of the gifts that you can take home with you. What was my horse showing me or teaching me? How can I keep building my awareness of that? What helped to shift it? What did I need to touch into or acknowledge? And how might I recreate that back in my own daily life? This is Minna again here. And the way we teach and that you experience and learn here is experiential. So yes, I'll do some talking head like I am now, but most of it is actually through experiences with the land, with the dogs, with the horses that your body is going to feel. So my brain with beauty was totally like, okay, we're going to do this task, but my body and my emotions had a completely different idea of what was needed. And as you can see, I don't even remember what the task was we were supposed to do. What I remember was that feeling, that sensation of her nose on my arm, and that feeling that moved in me, that feeling of being seen by another being and supported with emotion to actually move. Because that awareness offers a chance to do something with it, a chance to shift something. And there's an expression, people don't remember what you say, they remember how they felt around you, or they remember your vibe. And if you think about meeting a new person, you kind of come away with a sense of them rather than the specifics perhaps of what they said. And here we get to work on that vibe. What's that information underneath the mask, so that the inside could actually match the outside, so that we can consciously create trust and connection. So here you see Eric with Frack, one of our dogs. We have 5 dogs here as well. And you see Minna and Roncador outside some of the rooms. As you can see, the horses come and visit you in the room sometimes. And often that's where the most powerful experiences happen. Just you and a horse with your morning coffee, have this incredible moment. And perhaps Eric's sitting here feeling stressed that, I don't know, just to use a recent example, there's 5 water leaks at the same time on the property, something happens, and he's sitting there feeling stressed, and Minna's walking towards him and probably magnifying what he's feeling. And you can see he's asking Frack for advice here about what to do. And maybe he takes a deep breath. And what you might see is Minna licking and chewing or yawning. If you were here on the webinar last month, we talked a lot about there's visual signs that the horse will use to show when your state shifts from a state of stress or holding something back or tension into a state of being more relaxed, more open, more connected within yourself. The horse will actually give you feedback. They might come towards you, they might lay down, they might yawn, they might shake. So you're like, oh yeah, that breath really did help. Maybe I'll take a couple of others. Maybe I'll even sit down. You're kind of getting that supportive feedback. Yes, you're on the right lines in terms of the experience that you might be looking for. So there's this idea, imagine if you could become more aware of your own state rather than just carrying on and pushing through like we do a lot, and become aware of the presence that you're putting out around you, and perhaps why you're getting the responses or having the impact that you're having. Perhaps it's connected to your internal state. One of the hugest things around horses that we notice is actually how much of an impact we have on those around us. Even when we're not doing or saying anything, it can be really surprising. And we take that back into our human world, because then we can actually shift it intentionally. If we're aware of it, we can do something consciously. I say take a deep breath, but it's incredible what a difference it makes. I used to sit in the boardroom once I started learning this stuff. You sit in the boardroom and everyone's leaning forward and frowning and tense and concentrating on something. And if you become aware of that, you can actually go and sit back in your chair, and at least one other person in the room will do it too. and then there's a softening in the room, usually. And you just shifted the whole, everyone just suddenly realized that they were tense. And they won't have realized they were doing it consciously at all. But it's becoming aware of that state, shifting it and relaxing, and the conversation changes at that point. So reading the energy of a room and doing something consciously to change it. This is what we can practice with horses, because they give us that real-time honest feedback. You know, I might do it and you might be watching me thinking, well, I didn't feel anything. You know, a horse is going to actually respond real-time to what I'm really putting out, not just what I'm saying that I'm putting out. And once you start listening to yourself more like this, you actually start to trust yourself more deeply. Certainly when I was just a walking head, kind of cut off from my body and my emotions, it would be very inconvenient if emotion came up and I was sad and I didn't know why, and I'd push it back down again. You know, whereas once I actually start listening to it and allowing myself to have that connection, oh, I'm stressed. You know, I don't know if you've ever been in a yoga class, you know, where, or any kind of class where they say, drop your shoulders. You're like, my shoulders aren't up. And then you go, oh yeah, they are. No wonder they hurt. I didn't even know they were up here and that I was carrying them around like this all the time. So, oh yeah, I walk around with my shoulders up, but I don't even notice. Just even things like that, becoming more aware and more conscious, you can start to trust yourself more, that you're going to listen to your body, to your feelings, to your presence, to your breath, to some of those things, because the horse trusts you more when you're listening to that. So it's this feedback loop, and it can be truly life-changing. So here's a nice photo for you. Imagine yourself in one of these cars. Pick a car and imagine yourself, you're in a tunnel and there's traffic and fumes and you're late and you've no idea what's ahead. You don't know why you're stuck in the traffic. It's a familiar one. And just notice what happens to your breathing, happens to your body, the tension. I stop breathing. And the thoughts maybe start racing. Or maybe you kind of smile thinking, yeah, I hate being stuck in traffic. Something shifts through looking at that image. And then look at this image. We've had some amazing sunsets here last few weeks. And just imagine sitting on a deck with cicadas, watching this sun as it sinks over the horizon, over Tula Vida, that's our lower building. And maybe notice your breathing become more even, your shoulders settle. This is a shift, a physical shift, a nervous system shift, a shift in your electromagnetic field. Horses feel this and they respond to this. So in this moment, a horse might be going, licking and chewing, or they might be yawning like, yes, you just shifted. So you get to actually notice it as well. And notice it can happen from images. Real time, you get to really feel it and experience it. But actually your imagination can create it for you as well. So if you have photos of, well, if you've been here, of here or your horse or the view or anywhere that you've been on vacation or a special place, you can look at that photo, imagine yourself there and actually give yourself that little reset, that experience. And it's like taking yourself to the gym, taking your nervous system to the gym, building that muscle, creating that moment of relaxation. So I am going to see if we can go out on a little field trip. Ah, here's Beauty. Everyone see Beauty. And we have Minna here too. And the other horses are up on the hill. So just demonstrating that real time, you can see, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Apparently not. Okay. Beauty is rubbing her nose on her leg. She's relaxed, her head down in that position is relaxed, soft eye. She's twitching a little bit. And she's resting her back leg. So I'm going to approach Beauty, notice her reaction. So her ears came forward a little bit. She shifted her weight. Still pretty relaxed. Didn't turn towards me. Now I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths. Notice her eye blinking softly as I relax the inside of me. Her ears are pricked forwards. Now they're going back. The ears pricked forwards is more alert. And the eye closing like that and the head dropping like that are signs of relaxation. So I kind of came up quite quickly and her ears went forward and eyes opened. And she's modeling that now. Thanks, Beauty, as I'm talking. And then as I relax my body, her eyes close a little bit. And she starts sinking a little deeper into relaxation. So let's see what we can do with Minna. Minna's over here eating grass. And you'll see when his attention comes on me, when his ear comes on me. See his ears? They're like kind of extra eyes. You can't tell if he's looking at me because he can see 360 degrees. But you can tell by his ears if he's looking at me. And he's grazing his head around towards me. So if I walked up to him suddenly, I would probably create a startle response. I'm not going to do that right now, and I want to check that I stay with internet range as well. But as I put my attention on him, you see how he's very aware of me and his head's coming around towards me and he's grazing more towards me. And as I'm breathing deeply, I'm communicating relaxation to him. And we're going to see what changes as I move forwards. Head goes away and comes up as I stop. And his ears on me. So as I'm coming in with a lot of energy. And I'm talking to you, I'm very much in my head. And he took a step away. So as I take a step back and breathe out, you might see his head and his ear come back around towards me. And I have to actually do it. Now I just actually took a breath out and his head came around. I'm talking to you and I'm thinking, turn your head over this way, Minna. And then I realized I had to actually do it and actually breathe out. And you see his head coming back. So this is a very subtle example. It can be a bit more dramatic than this. But now Hitana, here's Luna, and Hitana has something to share and be involved with, I guess, because she's walking over here to stand in the shade. Well, while we're here, there's Beauty licking and chewing. So this is the horse, actually, that I had my first ever horse experience with. And this is licking and chewing. Thanks, Beauty. I was just asking her if she can demo licking and chewing. So I'm going to share my screen again. We were paying attention to the horse's ears, body, and breathing. And as I shift my internal state, I see a reaction from the horse, like you see from Cosmo in this picture as well. And you don't have to take my word for it because you can actually feel it yourself. There's no need to believe any of it. You can actually experience it happening. And what we've been talking about is some of the science behind some of that. So here you get to practice with 16 wise teachers. Now, we actually have 17 horses. I'll tell you about our new horse at the end. Remind me if I don't remember. I'm going to talk a little bit about Tula Vida and being here. And so you can get the idea of what we are and what we have. So we have 85 acres. We're off the grid. We have our own solar panels and water. And we have 17 rescue horses now, because we have a new one as of the last few days. And they roam free on the property. So you saw them coming up to the building and interacting, and they live in 2 herds, and they have friends and forage and freedom, really important for their emotional and mental as well as physical health, because they come and interact with us and do a lot of this work. And it's really important to us as well that they're able to release that shake that off and be horses some of the time as well. So we have 3 volcanoes surrounding us, nature, wildlife, and we do retreat groups. So we do small groups and we do 1 retreat at a time. So it's a really personal experience with the horses. And here are some images just to get an idea of 2 of our rooms and the outside of one of the buildings and some of the food. So our guests who are here at the moment were actually commenting how comfortable our mattresses are, because certain things are important. You are surrounded by nature and horses and doing deep work. So the physical comfort is also important. You want a good shower and a nourishing, tasty meal and a nice sleep in the evening. So you're not roughing it here. That's part of the process. This is the yoga deck. And the flow of a day will be slower than you might be used to, which is part of the magic. So you have plenty of time and spaciousness in the beautiful nature. We have guided horse experiences. It's not horseback riding except in certain particular retreats, and we'll facilitate the experiences, but we really see the horses as the teachers. And so we set up exercises and then the horses come in and work their magic, and a lot of time they'll do that in between the facilitated sessions. But we'll typically have a facilitated session in the morning, and then we'll have lunch and we'll do something else with the horses in the afternoon in one of our typical retreats. We might do some movement. We do qigong with the horses, which is amazing. And we a lot of times will quieten down in the evening, watch an amazing sunset, and it gets dark here at 6 o'clock, 6:30. So we have an expression that 8:30 p.m. is Costa Rica midnight, because you actually feel tired. Your senses, your nervous system is kind of tuning into the natural rhythm of nature. So everything starts settling down and you get some good sleep. So we don't try and pack everything in, and it's not about doing, it's about practicing that slowing down. So this is Ria again with the Miravias volcano in the background, and we'll in some of our retreats start with a horse partnering ceremony where our horses actually select who is going to be their human partner for the week, and they really have a choice. We like to make sure that the horses are comfortable and are choosing. And also talking about these energy fields, these electromagnetic fields, we don't know what your internal landscape is like the horses do. And so we see a horse will come and partner with a person who the horse knows that that's the person they can best support or teach or share with or partner with. There's some kind of internal connection there. And that's why we like to have the horses partner with the person. And so then you spend time every day with your horse teacher and with the rest of the herd, usually learning to read and respond to this kind of energy field, learning about nervous systems, practicing your presence, practicing what you're putting out, and also learning about yourself. And we talked about that, connecting, reconnecting into yourself to see what insights arrive, to see what's actually in there, to soften some of the mask perhaps, and to create some tools to take home, to create the feelings, whatever those feelings are that you want to feel. Is it connection? Is it peace? Is it freedom? So we have 3 different types of Tula Vida retreat. My personal retreat is really a design your own ideal retreat. So we have a package listed that's a 6-night with various activities included, but you can design that. So if you wanted to come for longer or shorter, have more experiences, less experiences with the horses, then you can do that. And if you want to go, zip lining or paddle boarding, you can add that in. Certain weeks of the year we have reserved for that, so that you can come and have your individual experience and not moving as a group, and a bit more of the mix of what it is that you're looking for, so that you can also share in this place outside of a group retreat. And then we have different group retreats. So we have a 4-night retreat called Connecting to the Well Within, and we have a 6-night retreat called The Felt Sense of Being. And really this is all about going deep with the horses and with us, and working on whatever comes up for you, whatever your horse partner is bringing up for you. And then we do co-hosted retreats with other aligned facilitators. Actually, Anna Marie, who's on this call, was just here facilitating a retreat with us last week, as some of you know, which was incredible. So where people are in the world doing really aligned, amazing work, we love to collaborate and share the horses with that work, because we're always learning as well. And so the more perspectives or practices or insights that you can get from people where we're really aligned, then yeah, and it's fun. We love to do that. And a lot of people say that coming here, because we're so removed from everything, is really like stepping back in time. So here's a list. I'm just a little conscious of time, but you can see on our website a list of all the different things that we have coming up. So whatever jumps out to you and catches your eye from this list is the one that is meant to catch your eye. So if you're curious, or if you want to reconnect, or you're thinking about something else, then really the best step is to book a call with me and talk through the different options. Or you can email me. I'm very happy to send you details of different retreats. You can check them out on the website. You know, if there's something that you're curious about, probably one of our horses here is calling you or talking to you in some way. And so my personal retreat, this is the customizable one, various different times of the year. So you can ask us about that, the number of nights that you want to stay, what you'd like to do. The Felt Sense of Being is our Tula Vida 6-night retreat. And there's various different dates. That's a group retreat. There's different dates that runs. And Connecting to the Well Within is a 4-night retreat, which again runs in various different dates. Systemic Constellations with Horses, we have one of those coming up in July, and we have one in February 2027. You can see it at the bottom of the list, collaborating with Dan and Emily from Seeing with Your Heart. So that's a pretty powerful and magical concept. If you don't know what constellations are, then book a call with me and I'll tell you more. It's not easy to explain quickly. I'm just checking the chat here. Wish I could be there with Anna Twinney. Yes, Anna Twinney. So, well, let me just do Melissa. Melissa Rosinski, she's a therapist and she does a nature-based therapy retreat in July, which is fabulous. We build altars, nature altars out, and we do a community service volunteer project, and we're going to do this incredible hike. And then in August, yes, Anna Twinney was incredible. She came last year and she works with horses, training horses and also coaching and also doing healing with horses. So she's doing a retreat which will actually include horseback riding. Somebody's bringing horses over here. We don't ride most of our horses. So we'll do horse riding around here, and then Anna will actually do some demos of how she trains with horses. She really speaks the language of the horse really well, and also do some life coaching and teach some horse healing. So it's a real mix of horse riding and groundwork and coaching and healing. And she's going to do a 2-day horse training clinic as well after that. So that'll be amazing. And then we have Renee Deneen coming for Demystifying Executive Presence for Women, which is a retreat really about how to create a powerful presence in the office, in the boardroom, in leadership, and really the non-verbal aspects of it, like we've been talking about in this slide. We have Abby and Lynn coming to do Unbridled Harmony retreat and share their mix of body work with horses, and we'll also include some horse coaching, some Tula Vida horse coaching in that as well. And we're in the beginnings of setting up a men's retreat that's Eric and a good friend of his, Brian, are going to lead. We haven't got the name or fully the details of that, but that's going to be nicely activity based. So they're going to do paddleboarding and hiking and various different activities as a group of men, which we're excited about. We have a beach ride where we go up to the coast and ride horses on the beach. I will send emails out about this. We've just set dates for the next one of that. It really is an incredible horse riding experience in Paradise Beaches. That's going to be on January the 4th, 2027. The Constellations one in February I mentioned. We just finished a Healing with Horses retreat with Anna Marie that was incredible. Hopefully we will have one of those on the schedule soon for next year. And I am very called and drawn to do something with whales and horses, so that is in the making. And I'm also talking to some other co-hosts about some other potential fabulous collaborations that will be hitting the books hopefully very soon. These are on our website. You can have a look at this list, and I can also send you more details about any of them. Oh, Jude, you're from Happy Dog Horse Sanctuary. I'm reading your comment. Yes, we would love to meet you out here. Thank you so much for joining today, and I will send your regards to Eric. And David says hello to Hitana. Okay, I am going to transfer again. I think Hitana came around, so I'll keep an eye on the chat if anyone has any questions, but I will also, let's go around and do a little check-in with the horses. So here is Galan. I don't know if you can hear his breathing into my headphones. Maybe you can. It's pretty loud. You can see how he just put his head right in to look into the camera, and he's breathing with me. Whew, he's making me take a big exhale. That's nice. Thank you, Galan. And I'll show you who we have here. Everybody's here. Here's Beauty. And Minna. Head pressed up against the window. And you can see they're kind of all gathered outside the door, I'm sure for our call, and to say hi to you. Oh, sorry, Imperio. Imperio is walking in and nudging me. He wants to say hi to you guys. I know some of you are big Imperio fans. And Cosmo is here. They're hanging out on the deck, enjoying the view. Here's Hitana. Here's Hitana. So as you can see, you can just take a nice seat here and have a whole bunch of horses hang out with you. Ideal way to spend the day. And I'll tell you about, so we do have Tula Vida Foundation. All of the horses are rescue horses and have various different stories and backgrounds. And we do have a new little guy joined us. He's actually out in the field over here. I don't think my Wi-Fi will stretch that far. I might try in a second. But his name is Noah. And he was rescued in January from auction and was in pretty bad shape. And his rescuer, they put him on a farm in a field with some other horses, and his condition was just going downhill really badly, and he's actually in quite distressing condition, skin and bones, and with some health issues going on. So they asked us if we would take him and give him intensive care, basically, give him, love and specialized care and food, and see if he has a chance to recuperate. So we agreed to do that. And he came a week ago. And when he came off the truck, and I mean, he could barely even lift his head. I have actually never seen a horse that skinny in real life. It's very upsetting to see. And yeah, he could barely walk, and he just lay down in his stall. And we thought, well, we'll give him a chance. We'll give him some love. And yesterday, we feed him 3 times a day. I took the food out to his field, and he trotted up the hill to me. He actually trotted. Honestly, you can hear my voice. I was videoing. I got so overexcited because his muscle, we've obviously given him some treatment, but his muscles are building. He's feeling healthy and safe, and getting his strength back, basically, getting the energy back. He had a blood disease, essentially, and he's got skin issues. Tana's taking us for a walk. I'm going to look in the window over here. So yeah, he's doing really well. He loves his food. He starts neighing for his food. He's tiny. He would probably come up to like here on Hitana. He's a little pony. I mean, he's really small. He's very, very sweet, and his personality is starting to come out more and more, which is just such a joy. You know, there are hard parts to horse rescue, but there's also the beautiful parts, because now how can we help him feel safe and offer connection in a safe way, and regular meals and care and comfortable treatment, so that he can start to relax and settle. So he's been lying down in his field, he's been enjoying the sunshine, he has plenty of grass, he's in a stable at night with plenty of hay and grass, and learning that humans can be trusted and can be safe. And really, we see a really powerful, Minna's moving everyone around over him, Minna's moving Cosmo. Here's Hitana. You can imagine your hand here. Those of you who know what this feels like, or those of you who want to know what this feels like. But yes, we really, I mean, some of these horses have had really tough experiences, and our mission in the foundation is supporting horses, supporting humans. So we're supporting the horses, and they're supporting the humans. So the humans support the horses, support the humans, support the horses, so that it's actually a beautiful circle where we're all supporting each other, because everything really is connected at the end of the day. And I'm going to walk over here and we'll see my Wi-Fi last. I'll see if you can meet Noah. You'll be his first Zoom call. Imperio. Let's see. The horses have been hanging out with him over the fence. He's too small and weak to have friends in with him yet. Give me a wave if you lose me. Oh, there he is. There he is. Let me see if I can zoom in here. He's out in our field with the most nutritious, longest grass that we have. Hey, little man! Hi, Noah! It's his lunchtime. He's looking at me, I think. You have my lunch? You guys see him? Yeah. See if I can go a little closer. Noah! Hey, buddy! There he is. So you might be able to see he's skinny, but doing a lot better and getting the care and treatment that he needs. Okay, so that was Noah's first Zoom. You have a look in the chat. Oh, sending a heart. Yep, you'll get to meet him in person, Christina. Anything else from anyone else? I'm conscious that I took up more of the hour. So thank you for staying with me. Nice to see your faces. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off here. Let's finish with Beauty. And say goodbye, Beauty. Yes, horse fix. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining. She's licking and chewing. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.